Violet and her team arrived at the venin-controlled city under the cover of darkness, their mission clear: find proof of Navarre's corruption and escape before they were caught. The city was eerily silent, too quiet, and as they moved through the abandoned streets, they uncovered the horrifying results of venin experiments. Twisted creatures that had once been human, now drained of all life. Then, deep within a hidden chamber, they found what they needed: a secret trade contract between Navarre's leadership and the venin, proof of their betrayal. As they prepared to leave, the trap was sprung. Venin soldiers poured into the streets, cutting off their exit. Violet unleashed her lightning, her power crackling through the air as she fought, but the venin were stronger than before. They had adapted, and then one of them spoke her name. They had been expecting her. Splitting up was the only chance they had. With Andarna's ability to slow time, Violet barely managed to escape, but something felt wrong. The venin's magic clung to her, seeking her out, sensing her power. Tarn roared in warning. There was no time to hesitate. They had to leave now. Regrouping outside the city, the cost of their success became clear. They had lost people. The weight of it pressed down on them, and Xaden, barely able to contain his fury, turned on Violet. "You think I can survive losing you? I can't, Violet. I won't." But before emotions could be processed, urgent news arrived. Navarre was moving, and they were heading straight for Basgiath. Rushing back to warn their allies, Violet and Xaden arrived too late. The academy was already under siege, but the attack wasn't from an external enemy, it was from within. Navarre's forces had turned against the riders. Chaos erupted as students fought students, instructors clashed, and dragons took to the skies. In the midst of battle, Tarn collided with another dragon, sending Violet plummeting. As she fell, something inside her snapped. Power surged, and for the first time, she didn't just wield lightning, she became it. A shockwave exploded from her, sending enemies spiraling from the sky. When she finally landed, it was directly in front of her mother. Lilith Sorrengail wasn't just angry. She was afraid. She had seen what Violet could do, and she knew what it meant. "You're more dangerous than I realized," she said, "and that means I can't let you live." Violet drew her sword. "Then you'll have to kill me yourself." Mother and daughter clashed, power meeting experience in a battle neither could afford to lose. Lilith wasn't just following orders, she believed in Navarre's control over the dragons, over the riders. "You think you're free, Violet," she sneered. "You're just another pawn. The only way to survive is to control the game." But Violet refused to accept that. With one final strike, Violet gained the upper hand. She had the chance to end it, to kill her mother. But she hesitated. She wouldn't become like Lilith. She wasn't fighting for power, she was fighting for the future. As she turned away, Lilith's final words echoed behind her. "That's why you'll lose." The battle was over, but the war was just beginning. Basgiath lay in ruins, divided by those who saw the truth and those who still clung to Navarre's lies. Violet tried to rally them, but loyalty was fragile. Then came the betrayal. A fellow rider turned her in, and before she could escape, Navarre's forces surrounded her. Tarn roared, ready to burn them all down, but Violet knew they had to leave. She and Xaden fled to the rebellion's stronghold, only to find it in devastation. The venin had struck first. The survivors delivered grim news. The venin were moving faster than anyone had anticipated, heading straight for Navarre's capital. Violet knew what she had to do. She had to go back. She had to warn them, even if it meant walking into the lion's den. "You can't save people who don't want to be saved," Xaden warned. But Violet didn't care. This wasn't about who deserved saving. It was about what was right. The return to Navarre was an impossible flight. Spotted in enemy skies, Violet and Xaden were pursued relentlessly. A well-placed strike hit its mark, and Violet tumbled from the sky. She barely survived the fall, only to find herself in chains before Navarre's military council. At the head of the table sat her mother. "I warned you, Violet. Now you'll understand what happens to traitors." The trial was swift. Treason, conspiracy, aiding the enemy, each charge echoed in the silent hall. Violet defended herself, but the verdict was already decided. Her mother watched in cold silence as the sentence was announced. Violet was sentenced to death. Before it could be carried out, the attack began. The venin arrived at Navarre's gates, and the city erupted into chaos. Amidst the confusion, Violet broke free, power surging through her. She stepped onto the battlefield, lightning crackling in her hands, knowing one thing for certain. This was it, the final war had begun.